session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start the session with the first snippet. New Year in Kashmir. Hotels 100% booked in Pahalgam, Gulmarg. You all know there was an incident, and many people they died because of the terrorist attack. Same place. Now it seems same place in the sense that particular tourist spot. And now it seems normalcy has returned. Based on that, 100% hotels 100% booked in Pahalgam, Gulmarg as part of what? New Year celebrations. Good morning. Nothing to learn as such, but when it comes to tourism, you should think of two words. One word is globe-trotter. Who is a globe-trotter? A person who travels around the world quite often. Another word, travel plan. What is the word for travel plan? Itinerary. Itinerary, we don't say, though the spelling says that itinerary. These two words you have to think of. Otherwise, nothing to learn. Coming to the other snippet, Russia-Ukraine war. Kim hails Russia alliance, praises troop service in alien land. There are two words. One is hails. War also you have to focus on, and also alliance, alien. What is the first word here? War. You may ask me, sir, why should we think or focus on the word war? Before any war, name of a war, we should use a definite article, the. The World War, the First World War, the Russian, Ukraine and Russia war. Before any war, do remember we should use a definite article, the. Next, coming to hail. Hail has three meanings I've given many a time. One meaning, hail means belong to. I hail from Vishakhapatnam. I belong to Vishakhapatnam. I come from Vishakhapatnam. Second, hail means to praise. In this context, hails Russia. What does it mean? Praise Russia. Third one, hailstorm. Sometimes whenever there's a heavy rain, you see small ice balls. That we call hailstorm. And the other one, alliance. Two or three parties join hands, countries join hands. We use the word alliance, ally. And the last one here, alien land. Today, this word has come into the limelight courtesy Donald Trump. Alien has two different meanings. One meaning, very good. Who is this Vishnu? Aliens, extraterrestrial life. Imagine some life from extraterrestrial, from space. We use the word aliens. But what is the second meaning of the word aliens? Foreigners. And Trump says a lot of illegal aliens are roaming in the streets of the US, and he's trying to drive them out, deport them. Important word. In a way, you can, in this context, it means foreign land. Do remember. Important words from one snippet. Coming to the other one, international web. Kidney transplant racket, 8 held. You all know kidney transplantation, kidneys are very expensive. And there are rackets. Racket, not the regular racket. Here it is like a gang, mafia, racket, gang, all these syndicate, all these words have to pop up. Transplant, you take kidney from one person and place it in another person's body. You all know that, transplantation. Simple words, but you've got to recollect a few important words. Coming to the next one, he is housing, I think parley. Parley means what? Discussion. He is housing prohibitively expensive. An important expression. Prohibitively expensive means too expensive. Yes, drug trafficking, you have to recollect, aspirant, very good. And prohibitively expensive, too expensive. Something is too expensive. We also use the word exorbitant. Have you heard of that any time? Exorbitant price means unreasonably priced. That is an important word. Prohibitively expensive means too expensive. What is too expensive here? Based on that, Ownership out of reach for most Indians in cities. Out of reach, not within reach. Within reach, out of reach means not affordable. Affordable means to have enough money, one meaning. And if I say I can't afford to say that, means if I say that, I may have to face bad negative consequences. Two different meanings, but in this context, not no money to buy a house. Ownership out of reach for most Indians in cities. Reading between the lines, you should understand now it is not easy for a person in a city to buy a house. It is not within their reach, it is out of reach. Not at all easy, too expensive. Coming to sports, you can see hockey related pick, thrilling contest, thrilling movie, thrilling end, nail biting finish. All these you have to think of. Tigers have the last laugh against Piper. Have the last laugh. Have you heard of this any time? Idiomatic expression. What does it mean? Imagine something, you do something, or something happens. Finally, you emerge victorious. You get the benefit. Then we say you have the last laugh. An important idiom you have to remember. That's all from the snippets, the front page of today's Hindu paper. Let us go to the headlines. What do they say? The very first one is about tax. Tobacco tax rejig to take effect from February 1st. There are two words you have to focus on: rejig, take effect. Rejig means a shuffle, a revamp, and a reorganize. All these words should pop up. Rejig related to tobacco tax. To take effect, immediately you have to become alert and you have to think of, very good, Vishnu. Affect, effect. Affect is a verb. Effect can be a verb, can be a noun. Take effect means become effective, come into existence from February 1st. Coming to the other snippets, riots in Iran over costs of essentials leave 6 dead. Riots. Riots means what? Clashes. Simple word. And here there is one important word you have to focus on. What is that word? Costs of essentials, essential provisions, essential groceries, essential things. Why should you focus on the word cost? In English, we have two types of verbs: a regular, irregular. What is a regular verb? Takes D or ED. What is an irregular verb? Does not take D or ED. And we place verbs like cut, put under irregular verbs. They have the same forms. Cut and put, everyone knows. What are the 6 important verbs you have to recollect? Cost, cost, cost. Cast, same forms. Telecast, broadcast, forecast, hurt, all have the same forms: present, past, and past participle forms. That you should recollect. Coming to the other snippet, new vice chief of the air staff assumes charge. An important word: assume. Assume means in this context to take power, to get authority or power. But assume, don't assume things. What does it mean? Don't imagine things. And we also say assumptions are not advisable. Assume, verb, assumption, noun. Don't try to assume things. A simple example. Coming to the other snippet, India Pakistan exchange lists of nuclear facilities. You all know India has nuclear weapons. Pakistan also has nuclear weapons. They act as deterrents. Yes, collective nouns are team, jury, staff, committee, very good. They act as deterrents, means they prevent the war. And this is a pleasant surprise. It seems India Pakistan exchange lists of nuclear facilities. That's a good thing in a way. Nuclear facilities, they have exchanged the lists. That is something like a pleasant surprise. Coming to the pick, you can make out effigy of an old man. What does it say? Pop goes Papanji. Pop means a low explosive sound, to make low explosive sound. And here, Papanji means an old man, effigy of an old man. According to Christian culture, on the eve of the new year, they burn the effigy of an old man. You can see this is an effigy. And when they burn the effigy of an old man, known as Papanji, it means it officially the year is over. Officially, they're welcoming the new year. That is symbolic. That's what it means. An effigy of Papanji is burnt at the parade ground in Fort Kochi as part of an annual tradition to usher in the new year. Important expression, usher in, to make something happen, to welcome, usher in the new year. In this context, to welcome the new year. Thousands from across the globe converged to witness the iconic event on Wednesday night. From across the globe, an important phrase you have to remember: converge, to meet, convergence. What is opposite? Divergence. Please excuse me, I have a bad throat. Convergence, opposite divergence. To witness the iconic event. Iconic means symbolic, something very important, serves as a landmark. Iconic event on Wednesday night. Coming to the other snippets, unfortunate incident in Switzerland. Fire at bar in Swiss Alpine resort leaves a 40 New Year revelers dead. We have one word here, Alpine, and also revelers. Fire. Fire breaks out. Break out means to start suddenly. A fire broke out in a resort, Alpine resort. And if you go to Europe, we have the Alps. Before any mountain range, we should use a definite article, the. The Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes. These are snow capped mountains. We also use the expression alpine. Alpine means high altitude, covered mountains covered with snow. There was a fire accident, and how many people died? 40 New Year revelers. Revel means to celebrate, to enjoy. Yes, aspirant, you should think of words like blaze, inferno. Very good, I appreciate that. Coming to the last snippet, Ukrainian drone strike in Kherson kills 24, wounds at least 50, Russia. This has been going on for a couple of years, and based on the drone attack by Ukraine, Russia, the impact was on Russia. What was the impact? Killed 24 and wounded at least 50. This has been given by Russia. Coming to the last one, Lokpal scraps plan to buy 7 BMW cars for 5 crore. Scrap in this context means to cancel. Usually, scrap material means unwanted, old stuff. We use the word scrap. But here, scrap means to cancel. That's all from the front page. Let us go to the editorial analysis. Today's editorial is an important editorial. It deals with contamination of water, water contamination, contamination of drinking water, potable water. What is the meaning of potable? Edible means something you can eat. Potable, water you can drink. But unfortunately, a particular state, a particular place, water got contaminated. And because of that contamination, about unofficially 14, officially 4 people died. And obviously, an editorial related to water contamination, you should guess the broad framework. A writer may start with water important, not important for public health. Then he may go to the actual incident or event, what happened, where it happened, how it happened, why it happened, take the fishbone approach. Then he may say, what are the solutions? He may conclude suggesting a few remedial steps. This one follows the same framework, but let us start with vocab. There are 10 plus important words. What is the first one? Contamination. Because we are talking about water, water contamination means make water impure. Contaminate, verb, contamination, noun. Meaning, part of speech, noun, meaning. The presence or introduction of harmful or unwanted substances, making something impure or unsafe. Simple, an important word, impure. But when you make food impure, what is the word you're supposed to use? Adulterate. Have you heard of this? Adulterate the food means make the food impure. Imagine they add water to milk. What is that called? Adulteration. But here, contamination of water. Usually, contamination goes with water, samples, blood also. Second one, steep. The word steep usually goes with mountain regions. We use a combination steep valleys. Steep valleys means what? Sharp valleys. Have you heard of this? Usually that's what it means. Steep steps also we say, very sharp. But here steep means to be entangled, to be embedded, used as a verb. In irony, that context, part of speech adjective, past participle form. Completely filled or saturated with a particular quality. Filled with something, we say this one, steeped in. Irony, we have got many a time. What is the word that has to pop up? Paradoxical. Ah, good, you have heard of that. I appreciate your response. Part of speech noun, a situation in which the outcome is contrary to what is expected. For that, we also say boomeranged, counterproductive. Generally, irony and also paradoxical, a situation where you have both positive and negative. Then we should use these two words, especially in a sharply contrasting or amusing way. More than amusing, contrasting way. Exemplary, we have got a few times, part of speech adjective. Someone does something that can be taken as a perfect example. Then we use a word exemplary, a positive word, meaning serving as a desirable model, highly commendable. Commendable means what are the combinations we use with commendable? Commendable job, one combination. Commendable work, another combination. What does it mean? Praiseworthy. Have you heard of this? Boomerang. Very good. Sarcasm is different, irony is different. Who is this? No, no, not one and the same. Sarcasm means you say something, you don't mean it. You say something positive, but actually you mean something negative. That goes with a statement. Irony, paradoxical, ironical, they go with a situation. Context is different, mind you. And here we have the words commendable job, commendable work. Means what? Praiseworthy, an important word. Next one is norm. We have got many a time part of speech noun, meaning a standard, a rule or pattern that is typical or expected in a society or situation. The norms of the company, the norms of the society means the standards and rules. Mishap, we have got many a time part of speech noun, meaning an unfortunate accident or minor disaster. You have to think of words like catastrophe, mishap, disaster, unfortunate incident, all belong to one group, something negative. Coming to the next one, tardy, an important word, part of speech adjective, meaning slow in action or delayed beyond the expected time. Someone does something or responds very slowly, then we use the combination tardy response, means what? Delayed or slow response, an important word. Precipitate. Generally, precipitate goes with chemistry. We use in the chemistry lab. Precipitate, something that gets accumulated. We use the word precipitate. But here used as a verb to cause something, especially something bad to happen, suddenly or prematurely. A situation gets precipitated means it happens prematurely, and usually it goes with a negative context. Vehemently, I've given many a time, whenever there's an argument, some people try to accusation. Whenever there's an accusation or an allegation, imagine someone accuses me. I try to oppose strongly. Then what is the word vehemently? Means very strongly. Adverb with strong feeling or forceful intensity. Oppose vehemently, wreak havoc. Very good. You should think of that, both of you, Vishnu and aspirant. I appreciate. And oppose vehemently, deny vehemently. Combinations are very important when it comes to English. Do remember. Only meaning is of no use. Woes, we have got many a time. Problems, we say problems, woes, part of speech noun plural. Serious problems or difficulties causing distress. Distress means a state of anxiety, a state of worry. We use the word distress. Here we have wreak havoc. It's an idiomatic expression meaning to cause widespread damage, chaos, or destruction. Generally, we use it with a destruction, widespread destruction because of a storm, a cyclone, a disaster, a catastrophe. Then we say the cyclone has wreaked havoc, wreak havoc. Wake up call, part of speech noun idiom. This is also an idiom, meaning an event that serves as a warning and forces people to take action or become aware of a problem. Wake up call. You realize when something happens, then you realize, oh, this is important. We got to be cautious. Then you say that event was a wake up call. Have you heard of this any time? Rampant means widespread. Widespread. When we talk about corruption, we use the word rampant. Corruption is rampant means what? Corruption is widespread. Coming to the last word, sewage, part of speech noun, waste matter carried away in sewers, especially human excreta mixed with water. Human excretion, it doesn't sound that good, but there's one expression comes under euphemism. Human excretion we also use. I've given a few times. What is it? Night soil. Have you heard of this? Night soil means human excretion. Human excretion is also known as night soil. Effluent also you can use, but careful with spelling. Who is this Gopal? Am I right? Coming to affluent. Affluent means very rich. And what are the combinations? Affluent society, affluent country, affluent family. But here the spelling is EFF. Very good. I appreciate. That's all about editorial vocabulary. Let us go to editorial analysis, an important editorial. What happens here, whenever you read an article or an editorial related to public health and something like this, definitely you develop contextual awareness that will help in the exam. Do remember. What is a stimulus? Usually, editorials are written based on a particular incident or event. Something happens somewhere, an important thing, it has ramifications, national level, then they take it and they write the editorial. And there should be some stimulus. What is a stimulus? Trigger. The water divide on water contamination, piped water supply in India. It's all about water contamination, where piped water supply that water got contaminated based on that. But what is the main idea? The quality of piped water supply must be checked at delivery point. When you read a sentence, you should know how to divide that. Very important. What is the subject here? The quality. This is the subject. And usually after the subject, the writers use a phrase or a clause. What is a phrase? Of piped water supply. The quality must be. Quality of what? Of piped water supply must be checked. Immediately you have to tell yourself it is in passive voice. We must check something. Something must be checked. Must has two functions. One function, it is used to express an obligation imposed by the writer or the speaker. In this context, the writer. The second function, it is used to convey something is compulsory. But here the first function. The idea is piped quality of piped water supply must be checked at a delivery point. At delivery point, they check, they make sure it is perfect, portable, then they can give access to public. Otherwise, they should not give access. Let us see how it starts. An indicator of public health is the well-being of the poorer sections of the people. What is the subject here? An indicator. After that, indicator of what? Of public health. An indicator is the well-being of the poorer sections of the people. Any society has three classes: low class, middle class, high class. And lower level, we use words like grassroots level, underprivileged, marginalized, downtrodden. All these words you have to think of. And it says, writer makes a statement. What is an indicator about or regarding the downtrodden people or underprivileged people or marginalized people? That is, well-being of these people is an indicator. An indicator of public health is the well-being of the poorer sections of the people. If those people are healthy, everything seems to be okay. Then it writer talks about what are the important dimensions that go with the essential stuff: health, education, infrastructure, clean air, and clean water all fall under basic needs. All these substitute with the pronoun they. They fall under. They subject, fall verb under. The writer has listed out. All fall under basic needs, and various institutions should be busy working. Should be busy working around the clock to improve lives of marginalized people, downtrodden people. Yes, that's right. And here should is used to advise or suggest to someone, one function. The other one, it is used to express a possibility, but the chances are less. Here, advise should be busy doing what? Working round the clock. This is an important idiom, but you can easily guess. Tell me what is the meaning of round the clock. Round the clock means 24 into 7, the whole day. 24 hour into 7 also you can say. On most of these counts, what are these counts? These is a demonstrative adjective, counts noun, all these. On most of these counts, but that means when it comes to these aspects, where do they stand? Their departments. However, India appears to be falling short. Contrasting word. India appears, present, affirmative form. India is a subject, third person singular. We should add s or es to the verb. India appears to be falling short. Fall short, an important phrasal verb. Idiomatic expression, you can say. What does it mean? Not come up to the expected level. Fall short of expectations. With the latest being, to substantiate, the writer brings the actual incident that has acted as a trigger or stimulus to write this editorial. With the latest being the tragedy unfolding in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Now, writer has to tell us what exactly happened over there. What was the impact of contaminated water? At least 4 people, including a baby, official told, unofficial is 14, have lost their lives after drinking municipality supplied water, with more than 2,000 people falling ill. Water got contaminated, and what is the negative impact of that? Officially, 4 people died. Unofficially, how many? 14, and a baby also, including a baby. And many they fell ill. More than 2,000 people falling ill. Over 200 people are in hospital and 32 are in the ICU. All these talk about the impact of the contaminated water, that particular place. It is a development steeped in, filled in, embedded in irony. Why this irony here? You'll be surprised to know when you read this sentence. It is a development steeped in irony because Indore has been voted Indore has been voted. Which tense is that? Present perfect passive voice. India's cleanest city for several years in a row for its exemplary waste segregation and management practice, among other cleanliness measures it undertook. What is the paradox here? Indore has been voted the cleanest city, India's cleanest city for several years, not one or two, in a row means continuously. That is something positive. What is negative? Water contamination. And it is known for its exemplary waste segregation. Exemplary, a role model, and segregation to separate, and management practice among other cleanliness measures it undertook. In spite of all that, water got contaminated. That is the paradox. As has become the unfortunate norm after every mishap. Usually, students do remember when you read the editorial, some sentences are easy, the patterns, subject, verb, object. But some sentences you may not understand at the outset. Look at this part. As has become the unfortunate norm after every mishap. What does it mean? After every negative incident, something has become a norm, and that is very unfortunate. The same idea writer is presenting this way, and this is not the regular pattern. Now, students may get stuck here. What does it mean? Which tense? Everything don't try to relate to tenses. English has 350 sentence patterns. When you learn English grammar, you learn about 100 patterns. Still, so many patterns are there. Writers use all those patterns. You have to understand the gist of that. That takes time. When you read the newspaper for 6 months, then all these will not trouble. You will be able to comprehend. It talks about an unfortunate norm after an unfortunate incident. What is that? Blame game. The blame game began swiftly. Swiftly means quickly, with authorities pinning it on tardy progress on installing a fresh supply line. Pinning it, pointing out. Yes, practice, you should recollect. TICE is a noun form, TISE is a verb form. What is the blame game here? With authorities pinning it on tardy progress, means slow progress on installing a fresh supply line. A committee is to investigate. This also a typical student cannot understand. To investigate is to investigate means according to some arrangement, some agreement, someone is supposed to do something. If I say I am to give a speech, means I'm supposed to give a speech. She is to give a program, means she is supposed to give a program. Important pattern you have to catch. A committee. Committee is a collective noun, you all know. Usually, collective nouns take a singular verb, a singular pronoun. But if the sentence denotes or expresses division, the same collective noun takes a plural verb, a plural pronoun. A committee is to investigate the issue, but things should not have been allowed, shouldn't have been allowed. Important pattern. Should plus have plus verb, past participle form. It is used to express an unfulfilled duty or a neglected action. Imagine I did not attend the meeting, I did not submit the report. The management gave a memo. I tell someone, that person may say, you should have submitted the report. Or yesterday, the last day to pay the bill, I forgot. Then others may say, you should have paid the bill. So, what is the use of this pattern? It is used to express an unfulfilled duty or a neglected action. And it is in passive voice here. You should have done the work, active voice. The work should have been done by you, passive voice. Here, things should not have been allowed to precipitate such a deathly crisis in the first place. They shouldn't have allowed this to happen in the first place. That's what it means. This is a second instance of a water issue in the state in the past 2 months. This is not the first one, the second one, it seems. When the writer says that, he has to tell us what happened in the past. In November, students at the Vellore Institute of Technology campus near Bhopal vehemently protested against contaminated water supply after many of them began contracting jaundice. Vellore Institute of Technology near Bhopal vehemently protested regarding about what? Contaminated water. When did they realize that many students they contracted jaundice? Then they protested. First incident. This is the second one. It is a shame. A writer takes a very clear stand and very bold in a way. It's a shame that is very too strong in my opinion. It's a shame that despite progress under the Swachh Bharat mission and Jal Jeevan mission, water wars continue. Water problems continue. It's a shame. Why is it a shame? Despite an important word expresses contrast, and we should not use a preposition of after despite. And in spite of, we should write as three separate words. Progress based on two schemes. What are those two schemes? Swachh Bharat mission and Jal Jeevan mission. In spite of these two missions, it's a shame that this has happened. Water wars continue, problems still continue. The National Family Health Survey data show that here data has been used as a plural of datum. Based on that show that despite a rural urban divide, 96% of households use an improved source of drinking water. That's a good thing. In spite of the division between urban rural, it seems 96% they have access and they consume or they have improved source of drinking water. Use an improved source of drinking water. A municipal supply is always considered to be a safe and improved source. And if checks and balances were in place, the authorities at Indore would have spotted the contamination and let people know of the dangers. Public perception is what? Municipality water is improved and it is a good source. That is a public perception. Based on that, the writer says if checks and balances were in place, had they kept the checks and balances in place, perhaps this would have been noticed. Authorities would have noticed the contaminated water and they would have informed the public. They would have told the public not to consume that water. But that did not happen. Giving access to water is meaningless unless the quality of the supply is assured. You give water to the public, but the quality is not assured, then it becomes meaningless. Another categorical negative statement from the writer. Very strong words. Something is meaningless. It's a shame. All these are strong views expressed by the editorial. What the writer wants to convey, when you give access to public, when you supply water, you should make sure water is not contaminated and it is improved. There needs to be better enforcement of water guidelines. All these talk about solutions or remedies. There needs to be better enforcement of water guidelines and other environmental laws at all levels. Remedy or solution. Air pollution is already wreaking havoc on citizens' health. Unsafe drinking water should not be added to the list. Then what happens? Something like adding fuel to fire. Already over there, citizens are suffering from air pollution. Now, to that you add water problem, it becomes something like unbearable. Should not be added to the list. Wreak havoc means cause damage on a large scale. And here we have citizens, noun ending in the letter S, plural noun ending in the letter S. We should use the apostrophe after the letter S, not before. The incidents in Madhya Pradesh should be taken as a wake-up call. These incidents should be taken as what? A wake-up call for India's water management. With a population that is close to 147 crore, India's waterborne disease burden is also high. There is one important word here. BEAR, exacerbate means to make something worse. Very good. Bear can be a noun, can be a verb. As a verb, bear, past form, bore. But past participle, we have two words. First, you have to know bear. Can be a noun, can be a verb. But bear as a verb, what is the past form? Bore. But past participle, we have two words. One is BORN and the other one is BORNE. Borne, B-O-R-N-E, means to carry something. And two important examples: airborne diseases, waterborne diseases. Means what? Carried by air, carried by water. Waterborne diseases burden is also high. All states should immediately check water supply sources for chemical and sewage contaminations. Again, should means advise. Old infrastructure, including pipes, must be repaired or replaced. Another solution. They have to focus on the infrastructure. There should be strict enforcement of policy and monitoring of practice along with awareness campaigns. Another suggestion. What the government has to do, a writer is suggesting. Indore and many more cities in India have to clean up their act. Clean up your act means make sure everything is perfect. Otherwise, what happens? Or risk more deaths. If they don't do that, they don't go for cleaning up the act, more deaths are inevitable. That is not advisable. A risk of more deaths. It ends on that note. The last part of the editorial, all about remedies, suggestions. That's all about today's editorial. Let us go to mini mocks. First, reading comprehension skill based questions. Read the first one and try to answer. At least one student answers, I'll give the answer, then we'll move on to the next one. No one has answered. The author refers to Indore's repeated recognition as India's cleanest city primarily too. The writer talks about that. Indore has got for several years in a row the cleanest city tag. Why does he talk about that, he or she? Highlight the failure of Swachh Bharat? No. Expose the irony between surface level cleanliness and public health safety. B is the answer. Very good. You guys got it right. Which of the following can be reasonably inferred from the author's discussion of NFHS data? One sentence talks about NFHS data. So, from that, what can be inferred? Access to drinking water has eliminated waterborne diseases. Improved water sources guarantee water safety. Obviously, infrastructure coverage, rural areas, all these are not relevant. B is the answer. No. Second one, B is the answer. Improved water sources guarantee water safety. It talks about the same. 96% public, they think municipal water is safe. Improved water, safe water. Question number 3. The author's attitude towards the response of authorities after the Indore incident can best be described as: authorities reacted after the incident and they resorted to blame game. No problem. No issues as such. Not sympathetic, not neutral. The writer criticizes about a reactive approach of the governance or the government. The government should be proactive, not reactive. That has been criticized by the writer. Based on that, critical of reactive governance. Very good. C is the answer. Question number 4. Which of the following is not suggested by the author as a necessary corrective measure? These are a bit tricky, but this one is easy. You got to be careful in the exam. Replacement of aging water infrastructure mentioned. Enforcement of water quality regulations mentioned. Monitoring water at the delivery point mentioned. Privatization of municipal water supply? No, not mentioned. Awareness campaigns mentioned. So what is the answer? What has not been mentioned? 4 is the answer. 4D is the answer. The writer doesn't talk about privatization. All other A, B, C, and D mentioned, D not mentioned, not suggested. The writer doesn't talk about that. The reference to the Vellore Institute of Technology incident primarily serves to, the writer talks about the first incident. The students of Vellore Institute vehemently protested regarding the water contamination, criticized private education institutions, show student activism, establish a recurring pattern of water mismanagement. To highlight the recurring pattern of water mismanagement, answer is C is the answer. No, not B, C. Why B? No, no, not at all. Recurring aspect. It has been recur means what? Repeat. Not one time, not isolated, but has happened twice or thrice. Then we use the word recurring. Now we have exam topics based questions. First one, error location. Try to answer. Try to spot the error. Suspicion based on language, region, appearance, or presumed nationality is escalating into mob violence in different regions. You got to read meticulously, see what the subject is, what the phrases are, then you decide where the error is. Suspicion, this is the subject based on what? Language, region, appearance, or presumed nationality. Suspicion is escalating into something, into what? Into mob violence. Escalating into what? Mob violence. Where? In different regions. Nothing wrong with the sentence. You don't have to use is being escalated. Answer is the fifth option. No error. Please respect the fifth option. No error whatsoever. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Sentence number 2, phrase replacement. Choose the best replacement for the boogie of infiltration as used in the passage. Yesterday, mock, we got boogie man. Remember? I told you, Western culture, to scare the kids, they talk about boogie man. It causes fear. A person, children get scared of boogie man. Today we have got choose the best replacement for the boogie of infiltration as used in the passage. You have to think of the option with the word fear, causing fear. Certainty, not fear we have here. Legal process not correct. Acceptance not correct. So what is the answer? Exaggerated fear of infiltration. Very good. You guys have got it right. I appreciate that. Pillar. These incidents exposed a disturbing pattern of mob violence directed at migrants who were foreigners, who were thought to be foreigners, who were, you have to think of a few words based on the context, who were verified, then why will they attack? Officially declared, why will they attack? Lawfully registered, why will they attack? Presumed to be foreigners. Presume means to think. Third one, B is the answer. Very good. Anil, first one to get, then Vishnu, Sukesh, and again Vishnu, and so many. Very good. Word usage. Which word best fits the context of emboldened as used in the passage? Embolden, embold. In the word itself, we have bold. Bold means what? Courage. To give someone courage, we use embold, emboldened. And where do you see it's a positive word? Discourage, negative. Restrain, negative. Punish, negative. So, what is the answer? C, encouraged. No one has answered the fourth one. C. Perfect. Very good. Another question based on filler. Suspicion based on language or appearance is into mob violence, is turning into, escalating into, becoming. Some words have to pop up. Degenerating. Here it is going up and moderating, subsiding, negative words. Increasing, then what is the word you can? Escalating into mob violence. Suspicion is changing into mob violence. And the right word here is escalating. Very good. Many of you have got 5B. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.